Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel.
So we caught Andy Ruiz on a face-to-face table talk, some kind of.
Yeah, Sky Sports did it. It's kind of like what Matt Kellerman used to do for HBO.
And now who
and
does it?
That one was called Face Off, I think.
Face Off.
Because it reminds me of the movie Face Off.
Now our friend from CBS Sports,
Brian Campbell does one for PBC sometimes.
Ruiz was basically asked a question point blank: do you think Joshua quit? So we want to talk about that question, but we also want to talk about, did Andy Ruiz say he quit? Like, is that like, so you said that was kind of like the headlines.
Yeah, the big headlines going around on Twitter and on news sites, media sites, are Andy Ruiz tells Anthony Joshua to his face that he quit in the first fight. And so it's just interesting language to use, in my opinion, for what actually happened.
Right. So there's a certain amount of nuance whenever people are having a conversation. And there is if anybody had the question put to them, do you think Anthony Joshua quit in his fight against Andy Ruiz? Like, if anybody, it doesn't matter like who they are, or they're going to have an answer and they're going to think about an answer in that moment. But it doesn't mean that since that fight up until now, they were like, Anthony Joshua is a big old quitter. He doesn't have heart. It doesn't mean that was their thought. So if somebody came up to me and was like, Rachel, do you think Anthony Joshua quit? I'd be like,
Yeah.
And then I'd think about it and I'd say, well, here's how I could see that you might say that he quit.
Yeah, because what he said is he kind of was like, like Andy Ruiz had obviously never thought about this before he was asked on camera in this big thing, this question that's designed to instigate things. And then he was like, a little bit. Maybe yeah. Something like that.
A little bit. And then he went on to explain, he said Joshua, maybe he didn't know where he was, like.
Yeah, well, at the same time, given reasons why you could maybe say didn't quit. So
right.
It felt really forced, and
it felt like Andy Ruiz
by the
seemed like
people.
He was put on the spot.
Yeah.
And Andy Ruiz, I've seen him interviewed a few times now, does not strike me as the kind of person who would quickly and like up front say, I'm not answering that question.
Right, or he's not concerned about like PR, and probably is
laid back, easygoing, but also almost like a pleasing quality to his personality. Not in the ring, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything about his boxing, but just as a person, he seems like when people ask him questions, he kind of just answers them, and like it just kind of just goes with the flow wherever the interview takes him. So this guy asked him this point blank question, but like I think it's misleading for outlets to then like make it like he really said this.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know the person. It's from across the country. It's from the other side of the world, so I don't know the person sitting in the chair that's
it's in another country, so we're not familiar with the outlet.
But just from the clip I've seen, I feel like I would rather have somebody sitting in the chair who's trying to ask questions that give me the truth about each fighter's thoughts and feelings. But what I got from just seeing that little bit that I saw was that this person is trying to hype the fight. He's trying to create drama in a situation in order to sell more people on watching the second fight. That's something that is common in boxing, happens all the time, and I just want you to kind of think about that too. What's really the truth here?
And I would also ask myself, what's the fruit of asking this question, of putting this question to Andy Ruiz in front of Anthony Joshua? Like, what's the fruit of it besides marketing
besides your minute clip that's all over
hyping job, right? Besides, lots of clicks. What's the fruit of that? Like, what is to come of that? Like, I don't know why it matters if Andy Ruiz thinks Anthony Joshua quit.
Yeah.
It matters what Anthony Joshua thinks about that, because that's a big deal.
Another part of that question is that question even valid? It's like if he was like, well, Andy Ruiz, don't you think that the sky looks more yellow than blue? And then Ruiz is like, a little bit. or I guess you're wanting me to say this is true, because I was at the fight and I've seen the fight, both at live we were there and we watched it numerous times on video. Anthony Joshua didn't quit in that fight. Anthony Joshua got beat up in that fight, was stumbling around, got up to continue fighting, and the ref waved the fight off to protect the fighter from going on. So how can you say that he quit in that fight when he took that many punches? Maybe if he had like stumbled, or I've seen guys that have gotten knocked down and maybe didn't want anymore. But Joshua kept getting up. He didn't know where he was, like Andy Ruiz said.
I want to answer that question.
All right.
Do we think Anthony Joshua quit? But before I do, I just want to point out one more thing. I'm not sure Andy Ruiz has the best perspective on answering that question, since he was the opponent in the fight and probably wasn't able to really gauge the heart of his opponent and whether or not they quit. I imagine there's a lot going on in the ring, and you're worried, you're protecting yourself. You don't want to get knocked out, which is a huge possibility in a heavyweight fight.
Yeah.
I don't know that he has the best perspective and data to be able to answer that question fully. We have a little bit better perspective, I think.
Yeah.
We got to watch the whole thing unfold, and yeah, I've seen video of it. Here's the thing. I kind of thought that Anthony Joshua gave up.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's surprising that as you were just saying, you were so emphatically like, no. And I was like, oh, Kelsey doesn't know what I think about this.
Oops.
But I haven't really
well, man, what do you
advertise this, because I think that that's a really charged phrase, saying a boxer quit. As we know, Max Kellerman recently took a lot of heat, right? And we talked about that in another video. But I want to say that I don't think there needs to be any stigma or negativity
attached. That's the other thing about it is
somebody knowing when they're done, they're done.
Yeah, if you're getting whooped, then just stay down.
Yeah, I have I want to state that. And even if there's a little part inside of me that has this attachment to kind of macho bravado, what we would call a Mexican fighting style, where you just never quit and you're just all bloody. There's something about somebody being I'm leaving it all and I'm not leaving unless, I get that. There's something, but I think it's extraordinary. I don't think it's a requirement. So I remember watching, and I had that little thing inside me as I think Anthony Joshua just gave up. I think he was tired. He was getting beat. And so it's hard that I'm saying this, and I don't want to pass judgment, but we are talking about it. So I'm just laying it all out here.
Yeah, you can have your opinion.
I thought it looked it poorly to me. It was a mark on his character. That's not for me to judge.
But listen, I don't mean to offend you, but you're basic, AJ.
But I don't know. I'm not in a place to judge anybody's state of mind or their heart.
Right.
I don't know. And he did. This is a boxing match. So it's real easy for me to say, you should do this.
Hold on.
And I've never been in a fight, any kind of a fight.
Okay, listen. Wouldn't it have been easier for him to quit by not getting off the canvas? I don't understand. How can we say that he quit when he got up and the ref waved him?
I don't think he had all his capacity to make those decisions, and so I think getting up off the canvas is something probably that's more instilled and habitual. I'm doing this, but then once he was in that corner, I don't know. I felt I saw him go like this, and I thought I saw something change. I'm done, and I guess that's what I saw.
So,
but
the title of this is always going to be Andy Ruiz and Rachel McCarson think that AJ quit.
That's too long of a title.
Yeah, it's too long. We'll figure it out.
Can you give us a name? We'll be Randy.
No, because we're Chelsea. Oh, no. Between that and Tony Romo, I'm starting to feel a little, and maybe Tom Hiddleston.
I just really like some people's aspects of
Yeah. Tom Hiddleston is the actor that plays Loki in the Marvel universe. And Rachel's really excited, and I am too, about the upcoming Disney Plus series about Loki, starring Tom Hiddleston.
Mm-hmm. That's all you
But
have to
Rachel's
say.
a lot more excited than I am. So I'm like, I'm just kidding. Anyway, well, here's what I would like you to do right now. I want you to think, you know who never quits?
Who are you talking to?
Them.
Oh, okay.
You know who never quits? Kelsey and Rachel from Real Talk with Rachel and Kelsey.
We are going to maybe take a break over Thanksgiving.
Are we?
Or maybe we're not.
We'll see.
Edit this.
Hey, just keep coming back and seeing. Go ahead and subscribe so you can see what happens.